Hey guys, this is Salamander Anagram with reaktortutorials.com, and today I'm going to go over the basics of the newest reactor ensemble from Native Instruments called Molekular, which is pretty awesome. You can use it to transform a drum loop into this, for example. And that's the same drum loop with no processing. So there's a lot going on in this ensemble. It's probably the most impressive thing I've ever seen in Reaktor. And as such, there's just no way we can cover all of it in a single video, but I'll try to give you a brief overview of kind of the important parts, and we'll come back in some tutorials later on to get a little more in depth. So first off, at the bottom here, we have 4 slots that hold various type of effects. And to choose which type of effect gets used in a given slot, you can click on the name, and it'll bring up a menu on the main screen here. So as you can see, there are some effects that are common to each slot, and then each slot also has some unique effects of its own. And I think I read somewhere that there are 35 different effects that you can choose from. For today's tutorial, I'm going to use the Resonatarium effect from slot 1. And once you've loaded in a slot, you can press the little power button above it to turn it on. Okay, so to show off the morphing features, I'm going to have to be fiddling around with the knobs a lot while it's playing, so I'm just going to turn it down a bit. Alright, so we can save up to 5 positions for each control in the effects and recall them using the morphing position. So we have the bass position, and then we have A through D. And once you have a sound that you like, in order to save it to one of those positions, click the save button, and all of the available slots will light up here. And you'll notice that right now only the bass position is lit up because we need to set that before setting anything else. So let's save this current sound to the bass. And now I'm just going to make a few more sounds to fill up the other positions here, A through D. So I'm just going to turn the knobs a bit, and then we can use the save function to save the new sound. Alright, so next let's check out the modulation system, not to be confused with the morphing system that we just looked at. The modulation system is a series of LFOs and step sequencers and envelopes that you can find in the upper left-hand corner here. So we have 4 LFOs, 4 step sequencers, 3 envelopes, and an envelope follower. And then we have the logic section, which allows you to kind of mix together two different modulators and create a new type of signal with it. So let's take a look at how to connect these to any of the knobs. First of all, we can use the assign button in the lower right hand corner here, and you'll notice all of these little bars to the right hand side of our knobs will appear. And you can click and drag to have the currently visible modulator affect this knob. And to turn it off, you just double click. And you can also have two modulators controlling the same knob. So right here we have both LFO1 and LFO2 controlling the same knob. And so that can get kind of confusing. And in order to, figure out what's going on with a given knob, you can double click on the knob name with the assign button active, and it'll show this view here, which shows you all of the different modulators and how they are affecting this current knob. So you can see right now we have LFO1 and 2 showing a little bit of modulation. And that's all very fun, but we can also use the modulators to control the morph position. So if we drag this all the way up here, see nothing happens because we need the motion button to be on. And now we got a little bit of motion. Our radius is turned all the way down. So if we turn this up, we'll get the full range of motion out of our LFO from point A to point B. And we can use another modulator to control the radius size if you want. So you can create some pretty cool different modulation systems here. It looks really neat, and you can also just create some really in-depth different patterns to happen. Alright, so that's the basics of the modulation system. And next I just wanted to point out that there's a lot of hidden stuff going on in this ensemble, a lot of stuff that you might not even notice at first that really adds a lot of depth and character to it. So for example, you have these little arrow buttons that are to the sides of certain parameters. And if you click on them, we're going to call up a new screen in the main area here that allows us to affect a whole nother group of parameters for this effect. You'll see there's, in this particular case, we have 8 different patterns that we can set up, and we can recall the patterns using the knob, so each morph position can have its own pattern. Alright, so the resonatarium is also a very pitch-based effect, and right now it's kind of spitting out a lot of inharmonic stuff, and we can affect that. And this is another one of the hidden things that I think is pretty awesome in Molekular. So we've got this little picture of a tuning fork in the upper right-hand corner here, and if we click on it, it's going to open up the pitch quantization page. And we can use this to make sure the resonatarium, for example, is only going to spit out notes that we want. So we can turn it on for a given effect by pressing the pattern button here. And we have a little button to the right, a little arrow to the right that allows us to get a full look. So if we're using pattern 1, I'm just going to make it so that notes C, E, and G can play through, and nothing else will. And if this interface in the pitch quantization page looks weird to you, it's just a keyboard. So all the bottom squares there are the white keys and the top ones are black keys. So you can set up to 8 of these little scales and recall them using the pattern buttons in the right-hand view over there. Alright, so that's all I have time for today. I'm sure you can tell we've barely scratched the surface here. We've only looked at a single effect. There's a lot more going on beneath the hood that I don't have time to go into today, but I hope this video gives you an idea of what Molekular is and what it's capable of. Alright, thanks for watching. This is Salamander Anagram with reaktortutorials.com. If you all like this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out our website, and I'll see you again with a new Reaktor video next week.